Hey there guys and ghouls, it's your girl Jet. Today I am bringing you a functional garden, shabby farmhouse made for all of your cooking needs. We will have every form of crop on this farm. We will have our worms here. We will have our seed makers, our grills, just everything. Inside there's a kitchen made for the biggest cake party or cooking party you could have with your friends. As you can see, I was having some problems with decorating glitches, but I want you to know if you have those, just like you just saw me do, just leave your plot and come right back and it fixes those. At this time, this was filmed about a week ago, and there were a lot of these glitches, but there has been a hot fix since then, so I'm hoping that fixed it. I haven't done any real decorating since the hot fix, so I'm not sure. That's one of the things they worked on. I've been busy grinding because we are going to be bringing a hunting lodge very soon. I am excited for that. But here we're just fitting down our plots. They're little by little because I had plots that were still on my other plot with crops on them. So you'll see they'll gradually come back in here. You could do, this is just a small little garden just because this plot of land I have named the Shabby Shanty. So I wanted everything to be quaint. I wanted it to be small. I wanted it to be, you know, as if this poor farmer was just out here making their way in the world. And I think we accomplished that. I got this big arch from the Maji market, and that's kind of what inspired this whole thing, because I was like, what do I do with this? And we don't have greenhouses. We don't have that beautiful glass window that we get from Tamala's house. So, you know, this is kind of what I'm gonna do until maybe I can finally make a greenhouse someday. This, I will tell you, even after the walkthrough, this has changed because I found a way to grow the crops where they kind of are self-sufficient. If you want that, I will share that on my Twitter account at I'm Not Dead Yet. But yeah, we're getting this fencing down to border in everything to kind of make it its own little area. But yeah, when it's fall time, it's not even technically fall yet. We still have a few days, a week, I think. But when fall comes to mind, I am a Midwest girl, so I think of harvest. I think of apple orchards and pumpkin patches and getting just all the yummy fresh produce, corn. So yeah, that's why I started doing this. I hope in the future we get a couple things. One, we need more plots of soil. Palia devs, please, can we get more plots of soil? But also, like, things like our trees and like the blueberry bushes, I feel like really should not be on the plots of soil. So I'm hoping at some point we can plant those trees like we do, like the pine trees, or is it juniper? The juniper trees, just, you know, move them around, place them where they go. Because I did feel like this was a little squished, but I built this more for function than aesthetics. So if you're expecting something big, fancy, and schmancy, like some of my builds, you're not gonna get that. This is literally just a quaint little garden. Once again, here we are trying to make sure everything is just at least some kind of centered and working better. I was having a little bit of problems with this. How are y'all doing with your Palia play? Have you got a big mansion yet? Are you keeping your house in a little itty bitty cottage, which I love? I love the small cottage. My witchy cottage is kind of small. I mean, compared to a lot of people's houses, it's just the basic rooms. I love quaint little builds. If I ever finally get my Dinkum Island on here, you will see I just love quaint but pretty builds. I like my games also to be functional, so that's what we're doing here. Also, there are going to be a few bits and pieces missing in this, because if you saw my last Palia video where I barely had a voice, I mentioned that I had recorded a couple while I was sick, and as I said, there were glitches, so I was sick, very sick at the time of recording this, but I wanted to get this build done. I was excited for it. So you're gonna see like I'm kind of in and out, things pop up. You don't really see the end of the build just because honestly there were so many glitches, and then with me not feeling good I forgot to record certain parts. But I think you'll get the gist of everything. Here we're gonna start adding in those pieces. I know this little building here is called an outhouse, but I always just see it kind of as a shed because it's, yeah, gross the other way. We're putting in those worm, what are they called? I don't know. You make your worms. And there I have one for regular worms, one from glow worms. A little tip, since we are going to be showing my cake farm kitchen at the end of this build, if you have your cakes, if you put them in the glowworm maker, and you sell those worms, you have to sell the worms, don't use them for fishing, you will double your money back on those cakes. So that is a great tip if you have the patience. I do not have the patience. I'm an instant gratification girl, so my cakes automatically go to Zeki's store for profit. Yeah, I didn't want a lot of decor on this because like I said, it was just meant to be functional more than anything. But obviously we can't just leave it completely bare, so I'm adding in some little farmy type things. Okay, here are our seed makers. You're gonna see a couple of them placed here, but I had one that was still making some kind of seed that took like hours on my other plot, so that will be in here in a minute. So don't think this is just some lopsided film, because you know me and I love my symmetry with things like this. Another tip I can give y'all is when you are making your seeds, I like to keep 30 bags of seeds and 30 of each crop, and then I sell everything else. That way I have a good supply of both, but I'm also making profit off of my produce, because why else are you growing it for if you're not making money off of it other than your meals? Make sure you make your meals, because you need that focus. You need it badly, especially when you're doing cake parties and cooking and things like that. Okay, so here I did like a little like farm stand at the front of the house before I put the fence in, and I'm gonna move it over here. It's kind of like a little place where you can come in and you can get homemade desserts, you can get fresh foods made from the produce. There will be some plant life, like I guess kind of like little crafts in here, I guess you would say. Just little things that you would see, you know, if you went to a little side of the road farm stand. I know, at least for me, like I'm from Ohio, I've said before, and the boonies, and you would drive down the road and there'd be like strawberries for sale on the side of the road, or even pumpkins, or just any kind of produce would be being sold literally on the side of these country roads. And so that's kind of what I was doing with this. Once again, it's nothing big and fancy. I do fill it in a little bit better. I hope actually when I get more items that I can make it look nicer than what it is. But for this point in the game and with the items that I have, I think it turned out nicely. I hope you think so once you see the end here. Yeah, these mostly are makeshift items. I got the little booth, the little stand at the Maji Market. So that's what kind of it in that oh my gosh, the arch are what inspired me to go ahead and do this farm build. I just wanted a place where I could do all of my things. The only thing that I don't have that is food related on this plot is my preserve maker, just because that is in my pantry at my main house at the Enchanted Cottage. Other than that, you're gonna be able to do everything here, and I will walk you through that at the end of the video as I do the walkthrough. You'll be able to grill meat, you'll be able to grill fish, what else? Mushrooms. You'll be able to get all your fruits and veggies. You'll be able to make those worms, make your seeds. And there's even a spot you'll see here in just a second where we made a little shabby shanty sleep space for our farmhand, because all this place is farming stuff in a kitchen. So I was like, oh, if somebody were working here, because you know me, I think in realism, so if somebody were working here, what would where would they sleep? What would they do? Would they just leave? And I was like, if you've seen shows like, oh gosh, Yellowstone, how the farm, like the cowboys have like a little sleep space. That's kind of what I tried to do with the extra tent I had. And I thought it came out cute. It's just a little, you'll see. I love the makeshift items, and I never know what to do with them because they just look run down. And I was like, this is a perfect little place for just, you know, a simple farmhand to sleep, have a meal, and relax at the end of the day. Here we are putting in our plots. Finally getting that hoeing done so we can put everything down. Y'all, make sure if you are leveling up your farming, make sure you get that exquisite hoe, because it makes the tilling of the land so much quicker. And here we go. I think this was the end because I didn't get that footage of me planning everything, but everything is here. I put in some furniture, just some rundown little furniture, made it match the house. Here are my crops. I did change the way the crops are. Maybe I'll show that in the future to you. But you can harvest everything. It's all right here. There were those corn. Oh, and here's another tip. So as you can see, I was having trouble putting the peppers down. Well, those peppers, like our blueberries, take up 4 spots of dirt on your plot. So make sure you have room for those when you put those down. I was so glad that I got those before finishing this video, because I needed to show you all that just in case you didn't know, so you can plan out your gardens a little better. That's another reason mine has changed, because obviously I couldn't do things. Here I'm showing you the hopper. I like to put mushrooms in here. I'll put random meat in here, garlic, extra tomatoes. Here we are making our seeds. As you can see, there's my little 30 by 30 everything, and then I sell everything else. Back here is our little farmer's sleep shack. I think it turned out so cute. He's got a little spot over here, you know, to have a meal, put his hat and jacket away for the day, have a little cup of tea. Nothing too fancy, obviously. It's out in a tent. Here's our little grilling spot. Once again, nothing big and fancy, but it's functional. I like to have 4 of these. It makes it go quicker. And here is our little farm stand. See, we got some food out here. We got some baked goods, some little crafted items you can get. And then inside, here we go. This is our functional kitchen. You can have a full cake party here if you want to make, I know a big thing for a lot of people is sushi. You can come in and have your friends over to make sushi. It's just, yeah, our little shabby shanty. We got that ramen wallpaper that we got from Ruth. Here you see me and a couple of my friends testing everything out, making, I think it was choppa something or another, choppa stir fry or something. What is it? It all worked. It was great. So I choppa masala. So there you go. I hope you guys can do something like this with your own friends. And thanks for being here, and have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye guys.